Hello, I'm Micks Mowers Man and welcome to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be doing another diesel heater review. Now this diesel heater has been sent to me by H Calorie and it's just a second turned up, so I want to get it down the shed if I can fit through this gap and get this one reviewed, because this little diesel heater is going to be posted to my very good friend Mr. Top Conker, because he's got a workshop that is freezing and he's diesel heater in his, so I said you can have this one. So that's cool. Currently outside ambient temperature is 8 degrees. That's how warm it is. So it's not very warm. It had quite a hard frost this morning, and I want to get down the shed, get this video done, so I can get this diesel heater delivered to my friend Conker. I've already got one of the H Calorie diesel heaters fully plumbed in and working in my mother-in-law's room. So let's grab some diesel. We'll run down to the shed, we'll get this diesel heater unboxed and get it fired up. I'll show you how to work it, the pros and cons, what's involved, and how good and effective these little diesel heaters can be for heating a small workshop, a living space, a tent, an RV, anything like that. They can be a very, very cheap, clean and efficient source of heat. My workshop is a 10 by 20 foot workshop, and it's about 8 degrees in there, no warmer. So let's get it unboxed and we'll go from there. Right, let's get this H Calorie diesel heater unboxed. The H stands for heater, that's the initial, and the calorie is the unit of heat, apparently. We'll get this one unboxed and we'll go from there. Now this is the H Calorie HBS1S Diesel Heater. It's an upright one, it's not like a toolbox version. This is an upright tower, like what I call a tower system one. And whilst I'm unboxing it, I'll go through some of the specs with you. Now I've already got an abundance of H Calorie products. They've sent me loads of diesel heaters, and what I've been doing is sharing them out amongst my friends. That's what I've been doing. So for those in the small engine world that I belong to, I've been sharing them out and spreading the warmth, so to speak. Let's get rid of this box, get that one out of the way. And straight off the bat, the heater comes in a rather nice looking packaging setup, which is always good to see. God, it's cold in this old shed. I'm looking forward to getting this heater fired up. It is cold, 8 degrees. I can't work in heat like that. And that's the advantage of these diesel heaters, is that if you've got a little workshop or something like that, that you work in, or in an office or whatever, you can change the heat degrees quite quickly, because it is cold. Right, so first things first, we've got a screw tap, a vented screw cap on top with a, looks like a diesel filter on there. That screws down, nice and snug. This side here, you've got your power, AC power input there. This is your air input, where it sucks the air in. You've got a fuel gauge there, so it will tell you how full your tank is, and it goes up to a 5 litre display there. Comes with a little tiny remote control. That's good. It comes with LCD display, and there is your heat output, where it actually blows the heat from, and that should be probably about a 3 inch. They generally are 3 inches. Yeah, that's a 3 inch. So that's your standard diesel heater there. Let's just remove this cable tie, because on these displays, what you can actually do is you can actually remove the display and put that inside the area you're heating with an extension lead which they provide, and you can buy online as well. This has got a temperature mode on it, so you can set the minus and the positive temperature where you want your diesel heater to be, and this diesel heater will turn on and turn off accordingly to that, as long as you have this unit inside the area that you're heating. If you have it outside, it's never going to get to that temperature, so it'll just be on all the time. It comes with a key fob as well, So you can turn this on and off and turn the temperature up and down using this key fob. And also there's a smart app of which you can use this as well. So there's 3 different types of control that you have: key fob, LCD, and the smart app. And I have the app already, and the app is actually very, very good for what it is. One thing I like about this diesel heater off the bat, it's got these little tiny clips here, 2 each side. So for any maintenance that you may need to do, for any inspections you may need to do, you can literally, and that comes off without a fuel cap on it, does it? You've got to take the fuel cap off to do it, but then you can literally just get hold of this whole system. You can remove the protective shrouding, and then you can then look at your entire diesel heater setup. There's all your wiring harnesses. It comes with one of these pulse pumps on here, which has got a anti-vibration cover on it, so it stops that horrible loud ticking noise they used to have. It doesn't have that. It's got the green hoses on here. Here's your diesel heater. There's your fuel tank. It would have been nice to see that fuel tank, maybe just have a little tiny strap on there just to hold it down in place. That would have been nice, but it's what it is. The actual shroud will actually hold it in place anyway. Nothing much around here, but you can actually fully get hold of anything you want to do, replace parts or do whatever, and then this little tiny LCD just pops off the front here. There's a little tiny cable here, and then you can just get hold of this cable here. You can take this one out like that, and then you can then just bring this cable all the way through, and then you can then remove the 2 screws off the front, and that'd be where you can then remove this cable and have the extension cable, which gives you about another 3 meters of cable, and you can buy them with massive length so that you can just reroute this wherever you want to put it. So that's nice and simple. Let's just put that back for now. Back into its little tiny home, push that cable back so it's out of the way, and we just plug that back in so we don't lose any bits for later on. So that's all good. Let me just put that shroud back on and I'll come back to you in 2 ticks. Right, so just some of the specs on this H Calorie diesel heater for you. 3 control methods, as I said to you. It's got the key, remote control key. It's got the LCD display, and it's also got the smart app, which I should be going through a bit later on. The smart app is fantastic. It offers you temperature control, time control, power levels, fan settings, and much more. So the app is a brilliant app. This has got a dual altitude mode on it. For high altitude mode, so that's brilliant, but it won't affect me because I'm right down near the sea level anyway. Indoor climate control, and it comes with 1.5 extension lead for this. You can buy larger ones or long ones if you need them, but I've got one for the mother-in-law's house. I've got a 3 meter one, but you must have that inside, as I did say a bit earlier on. This has got built-in protection in the LCD and inside the circuit board inside. It's got overheating power, short circuit power, reverse polarity, and over voltage. So you must make sure that it's got all of that for the machine to run effectively and safely. That's most important. Please make sure that if you're going to run these type of diesel heaters, you must have an independent carbon monoxide tester. I have one. It works. You must have one. It's as simple as that. If you're going to have this indoors, then you must make sure that your exhaust pipe is routed outdoors, which we'll go through some of the bits and pieces in a bit. This is a H kilowatt diesel heater. You can get them in 2s and in 5s, but this is the 8 kilowatt is one that actually sent me. And apart from that, that's all the specs you need to know. And we're just going to get on and have a quick little look at what comes inside the box of bits and bobs. Here's your box. It also comes with an H Calorie user manual, which gives you all your QR codes, all different languages. There's your QR codes there for the app and what have you. The app actually was actually very good, to be fair, but we'll go through it. It gives you a breakdown, parts breakdown, all the bits you get with it, and how to service this piece of equipment, all the breakdown bits there. So it's a very comprehensive guide. So I quite like the user manual, but I've had loads of diesel heaters before, so I know exactly how they work. So let's get this little box unboxed, and then we can have a quick little look at see what bits you get with it, and then we get this thing set up because it is blinking cold in here. Did I mention how cold it was in here? I'll tell you something, it is freezing. Just over 8.5 degrees, nearly 9 degrees now. It is warming up slightly, but oh my God, it is cold. So we're going to open this little box up. I wonder if H Calorie sent me a little bag of sweets in here. I say it every time I do a video, but I never send those sweets. Right, inside the box. We have your muffler, which has got an anti-drip bit just there at the bottom opposite to the hole. A couple of screws and some brackets. We've got your exhaust pipe. We've got a piece of ducting here, which looks to be around about a metre long, which is quite good, with a directional vent on it. Does that turn? Yeah, it turns, yeah, lovely. Got more cabling inside here. So this is for your DC. You want to go off of a battery into here, then you can do that as well. You've also got your extension lead, 1.5 metre extension, which you can then extend your LCD display. For temperature control, you've got a plethora of Jubilee clips. You've got your vent thing there. You've got your particle blocker, which goes on your air intake. And that's it. What I'm not seeing, oh, it is in here, I thought I'd forgotten it, is your air intake, which goes underneath. You've got a 90-degree angle for your exhaust. And then you've got your AC unit here with a UK plug, which is also fused, which I like to see. A lot of the earlier ones didn't come with it fused. And that's your H Calorie 240 down to 12 volt transformer block, if you like, which you can run it off. Now these little tiny devices, what I will say to you is that if you're going to be running these off of the mains, H Calorie do have a setup and a shutdown process, okay? And you're supposed to prime the machine, let it warm up, it then fires up, and then once it's fired up, once you've done your day's work, whatever you're doing, you can then turn the machine off, but you turn it off via the LCD or the app or via the key fob, and then it goes down for a shutdown period, okay? What I recommend is make sure you run the machine up high for about 5 minutes, get it nice and hot, and then shut it off. That way it burns all the excess fuel off, and if you just turn it off at the plug and just turn it straight off like you would a kettle or something like that, then that can cause problems. So make sure that the machine is cooling down correctly. It's got cooling fins on the actual burner to make sure it does cool down properly. So make sure you just don't turn it off at the mains, just let it go down for its shutdown period. I'll show you that a bit later on in the video. Right, let's get this little diesel heater put together. It looks pretty simple, pretty straightforward as most of them are, and then we'll go from there. One quick note to make on this diesel heater, you actually get a 10% discount code. There'll be a discount code. Micks Mowers will give you a discount code for 10% off this machine if you wish to buy it, and all links to the availability of this machine can be found in the description and the comment section down below. I think this is on a Amazon link, both in the UK and in the US. So make sure you get your discount code if you're going to buy one of these. Nice, small, compact. That's what I like about this one. Dimensions of it are, it is exactly top of the handle is 16 inches tall, 6 inches wide, and 14.5 inches long. If you need to have it built for a purpose-built place or just a slide, but this will fit in most places nice and gently, and we'll go from there. Right, so let's just have a quick little look then what we've got to do. Tip it up onto its side. Down below here, you'll find you've got your exhaust and your air intake. Okay, here it is just there. So your air intake is next to the fuel line, and your exhaust will be away from the fuel line. Okay, so first things first, I want to grab a 90-degree angle bedangle. And you've got a couple of screws, or just one screw. Don't give me one screw, I think. Did I lose one? No, I've got one screw, but I've got another one here somewhere, no problem. So your 90-degree angle is going to go onto there. That's going to slide, nice tight fit, into there. And then a little tiny bracket which then sits onto there. Let me grab a screwdriver and I'll get that nipped up. Right, next will be to put on our air intake, which comes from underneath. Now what I would like to do with this one, I think what we can do is I'm going to route mine out here. That's what it looks like it's designed to do. So I'm going to get my air intake, I'm going to put that onto there. Now they do supply you with a little tiny avenue here to put Jubilee clips on, which is great to see. I'll go around that way. That goes onto there, and your Jubilee clip goes on, feed it in, and then what you can do is actually supply you now, which is great to see, because not all firms used to do it, is inside here is a little tiny cut out slit. So now you can put the screwdriver all the way through, and then you can then nick up that Jubilee clip so it's nice and tight. So you don't get no leaks anywhere. That goes onto there, that's lovely. Like that a lot. And then I'm going to just reroute this air intake. So yeah, the advantages are you can actually put your screwdriver in the side here now and then just nip that up there, let's see, which is a good idea. I've just found another little tiny bolt which comes with it, which I just put through, just make sure that there's nothing affecting it on the other side. And then this air intake I've got here, it looks like they want you to route this up the back here, so it's out the way, and then that way you can then put your particle blocker on the end of that. Now with your air intake coming out the back here, so you've got both your air intakes out the same, you've got your exhaust going out the side, that's lovely. We can now just screw this on. Now this one you can put a Jubilee clip on, but I have found you just screw it in and that's fine. All that's inside here is just an empty canister, and all it does, it literally just enables you to stop sucking leaves up, that sort of good stuff. You can probably, we'll give you brackets, so you can probably mount that anywhere you want to mount it, but I'm just going to leave mine hanging down loose like that, that's not a problem. Going around to the other side, you've got your exhaust, which is here, and all you're going to do with that is make sure that it's pointing away from the air intake. You don't want it going around this way, so it's around the same area, because this will be blowing your exhaust straight back into the machine. So this wants to be as far away as possible from the intake side of things. Let's just grab a Jubilee clip. They do supply with a plethora of bolts and bits and pieces should you need them. And then just got to mount this one onto here, which can be a little bit fiddly, just due to how symmetrical these pipes are, but they will go. You just got to get it right. There it goes there. And all I'm going to do is just going to have that bending round towards the air outtake, and then it's going to literally just going to screw that one up. And this would be one of the areas you just want to pay attention to for carbon monoxide leaks. But as long as your machine is outside or you have it well done up nice and tight, you shouldn't have any problems at all. So let's just nick that up. And what I've been doing is changing it over to a flat head. You can get a little tiny socket on there too, which might even be even better. But a flathead screwdriver is just as good. All right, that's up nice and tight, so that ain't going nowhere. And then you want to have that slightly pointing downhill, so that when your exhaust does vent out, it doesn't collect any moisture going up. Okay. Next thing to do will be to fit on the actual exhaust muffler. So you want to grab another Jubilee. My mate Conker's going to love this. Grab a Jubilee and we're going to fit the exhaust on. Now just a note to make, this is your moisture drip out. That's where it will drip any moisture out. Okay, so it needs to be facing down like that, not like that. Exhaust pipe goes on. Again, just a bit fiddly just to try and get it to fit. It's a very, very snug fit. That can then go onto there, and we'll nick that one up. Excuse hands been in the way, but just got to do it up. Like nice and tight. So it don't go nowhere. Lovely jubbly. And that's the exhaust part done. Now I've just got to fit the heat where it actually comes out of the machine, which is around this front side. Being careful not to knock the exhaust. Lovely. And then you've got another Jubilee clip here should you need it. Slightly larger one. That'll go over there. And then we're just going to fit that onto the front of this device. It's a tiny notch here, which it feeds over the top, so it will actually lock into place. There it goes, and then your Jubilee clip then goes on top of that. Screwdriver. These bigger ones tend to do up a lot easier as well. Right. That's that's all good, that's on there. And then you then put on your directional device here, which just goes on the end of that tube, should you want to do it like that. But what I've got is I've actually got a hole, a purpose-built hole already through my shed. Got one down here for testing, and my diesel heater is actually fitted over there, my own personal one. But that's where I do my test ones, which I just put the pipe through the hole, and then we can then start to heat it up. So let me now just literally put some diesel in this machine. I'll put it outside, and then we'll turn it all on, and I'll show you how to set it up, how to run it, and then we'll go from there. Right, so this is my test setup that I've got. Diesel heater venting into the shed, exhaust coming away from the air intake pointing over that way there. So no way of getting any fumes in. I fill the tank up to around about the 2 litre mark. There it is there, just identified about there. So all we now have to do, it's all plugged in. All we now have to do is if your LED display is not lit up, just tap the on button, it'll light up, and then push and hold the 2 arrow buttons together, and a little tiny green light will come on. And a little tiny green display will come on. There you go, down the bottom. And that will now start to pump. You can hear the tapping noise. That will now start to pump diesel up to the chamber. Hold that down for around about 30-40 seconds. And let it go through the process. And once you've done that, you can then let go of those buttons, and it will then stop to pump after about 5 or 6 pumps. Right, how warm is it in here? 9.4. It is warm up slightly, but not a lot. Right, let's go into the old app. Let's go into H Calorie app. H Calorie, there it is there. Now, I believe that to be my other device, the 5988. So now I want to add a device, okay? So let's now add a device. There it is, 5291. So that is my diesel heater. I know it is going to come back. That's how quick this app is. I'm going to select that one. Bluetooth device not yet connected. It will. There you go, standby. So now it's ready to start to activate. Here are your up and down heat controls. It tells you the voltage supply, how high up we are in altitude, the inside the body temperature, and the ambient temperature. Okay, that's in Fahrenheit current. I want to change those settings because I'm in English. There you go, Celsius. Leave it in feet. That's not a problem for me. Right, okay. Come back out of there. So now it's 12 degrees, which is about right. It's about 9 degrees in here. It is freezing in here. So now we can now go through the heating mode. If you're a high plateau, you just turn your high plateau on if you're a bit higher up, and this thing will then automatically adjust to how high you are because it knows how high you are. But as you can see, I'm not very high up here. So I turn the high plateau off. Don't need that. And we're going to either blow mode or heating mode. Now you can also do the auto start stop feature as well, but we don't need to do it yet. So straight onto heating mode, activate the device, confirm or cancel. Confirm. So now it's gone into the heating mode. Now this is going to take about 3 or 4 minutes, 3 minutes just to go through the heating mode. If there's not enough diesel inside the chamber, it will shut down again, and then you can go back through the startup procedure again. You might need to reprime it by holding the 2 up and down arrows, but that's currently on setting number 4. I'm going to turn that right up to setting number 10. I'm not going to muck about. H10, okay, and it will remember last time. Once you turn it off, it will remember the last time. Now you can't turn this off at the moment because it's in the startup mode, okay. It's what we call in gear mode. It's Bluetooth set, so we're now good. So what will now happen is this diesel heater will now start to tick in a minute. Once it start to blow through, it start to tick. Once it starts to tick, that's the process starting to fire up, and it will then go through the initiation of getting heat. But at the moment, it is exactly 12:34. This won't be running to about 12:36. But you might get a bit of smoke on initial fire up. You might even get a little tiny bit of diesel fumes. I have found that common with lots of diesel heaters. When you first ever fire them up, you get a little tiny whiff of diesel, but that soon goes. Because this is the first initial fire up. So it's just starts to tick. It's not excessively loud. So let me get the diesel heater fired up, get the door shut, and I'll come back to you in 2 seconds. Right, so it has now just started to fire up, and there was the smallest amount of smoke that just come out the exhaust, the smallest amount, okay? But now, because I don't want no fumes coming in here, I'm now going to shut my shed door up. Right, so now the diesel heater has now fired, okay? There was the smallest amount of smoke coming out of the exhaust, as you just saw, very, very small amount. But now I've started the actual heating process. Don't forget, I have got my carbon monoxide alerter, so to speak. Gotta have them. So important, you've got to have them. And I've been told you should have them at face height as well, apparently, is what I've been told. I'll put mine just there. Current temperature in the shed it's gone up. It's gone just over 10 degrees. So that's where we are now. So I'm going to put this just over 10 degrees. There you go. I'm just going to put this out the way of direct heat. Okay, but I'm going to have it close enough in the area. Now I can already tell that is pumping out some heat already. Just trying to find my my heat gun to test the temperature, but I can feel, oh man, that heat is lovely. Really good. Let me find my heat gun and carbon monoxide tester, and I'll come back to you in a little while. Okay, that's blowing lovely, lovely warm air into here, and I mean it is beautiful. When it's been cold for so long, having just instant heat, instant clean heat blowing directly on you is a lovely feeling. I've got a carbon monoxide tester here, which I'm just going to turn on. It's got to go through a testing phase. It just tests the air as it is. But I like to have that just down by the air coming out, the hot air coming out, and also have a heat tester gun here as well, which will give me what the heat is. So currently, if I was to put it on, I just done it over here. That's saying that is 15 degrees. That's been a bit of sunlight though, so that cold thing over there. 12 degrees, so it's saying about 12.4. That's what it's saying. Okay, that's the ambient temperature in here. That's going up nicely already. So I'm just going to put this now in the main air duct flow to show what sort of heat we're getting out of this diesel heater itself. Right, so carbon monoxide tester. That'll go beep, beep, beep if you get any type of carbon monoxide coming out of there. And it's in the green. It's doing nothing. Good. My carbon monoxide tester itself, my alerter, is over here. There it is there, face level, so I know if I get any carbon monoxide coming in. And just temperature-wise, I'll do it in Celsius and in Fahrenheit for you. So 12 degrees was what was over there. That's 10 degrees that time. It's even colder. So that sign is 10 degrees. So that's about right. So inside here, oh, I can't get my hand near it. 56, that was 90, so I just see 90. (101 degrees Celsius coming out of there. That's 214 degrees in Fahrenheit. Okay, so that is how much heat this little tiny 8 kilowatt heater is pumping out currently. That's pretty good. What I'm now going to do, that's been running for about 5 minutes already, give or take. I'm going to come back in 15 minutes or so, about 1 o'clock, just after. Let's do 1:15 actually, which will give it about half an hour heat time. Temperature was about 10 degrees, so we're going to come back and see what the temperature is in about half an hour of run time, and that's on setting number 10. Now I have been testing some of these H Calorie heaters from inside my mother-in-law's room, and she's been getting near 26 degrees last night in her room, and that was a run time of 6 hours on setting number 2, and it was around about 17 degrees in her room when I first put it on yesterday afternoon. It ran for 6 hours and she turned it off at 7 o'clock, and it was up to nearly 25.6, something like that. So that's how warm it was just in her room, and she's just in her normal clothes now, no cardigan on, nothing like that. But down in this shed, where it's insulated, but it's not insulated fantastically. I do suffer with the cold down here, and it's one of the only real things that stops me from coming down here is the cold. Okay, let's run this for half an hour on setting number 10 and see what that actually gives us temperature-wise. I have just put the exhaust on a little tiny metal disc just to stop it from burning into my wooden floor. Make sure there's nothing combustible where that exhaust gets, because that exhaust does get very, very hot. So Once you've got your setup all done and completed, you know where it's going to go permanently. You might be able to put some legs underneath the diesel heater just to raise it up off the floor a little bit, all that sort of good stuff. But I'll just raise mine up on a little bit of wood just to lift the diesel heater up, and then just lift the exhaust up slightly just to make sure that there's nothing combustible there. So, right, that's got lovely heat coming out of there. I'll leave it half an hour, come back at 1:15, and we'll do a quick little update on how warm it is in here. And it was 8 degrees when I initially come down and shed. It's come up to around about 10 degrees at the moment, and it's already over 11. So that's just in the time I've been speaking to you. So let's give it half an hour. I'll come back to you, and then we'll see how warm it is in the shed in about half an hour. Right, so we're back in the shed. It's been about half an hour. Okay, I had a nice cup of coffee, bit of lunch, and thought I'd come back down. Now it started off at 8 degrees outside, about 10 degrees inside when I started to do this video, and the temperature now in the shed is 17.8 with 63% humidity. So it's gone up nearly 8 degrees. That's massive. It's nearly doubled what it was originally. And that can make a difference between working in a shed like this and not having a nice time down here, or if you're out camping, if it's a much smaller space, this one wouldn't have to be a number 10, it'd be a number 1. It's as simple as that. These are fantastic. They are a really, really good heat source. The 8 kilowatt one is a nice big machine and does supply so much more heat. The carbon monoxide tester has not gone off. Had no problems with the machine at all, so it's all good. Now I'm going to go down through the firing down process, the turning it off process. Let me turn it around, show you the app, and I'm going to do it via the key fob so that you can actually see me turn this machine off. Right, so into app we go, H Calorie, it is there, and we're on heat mode. And I can turn this off now via the app just by touching the heat mode and deactivate the device. That's how easy that is, right? I can do it that way, or I can just turn this device down if I wanted to with the key fob. So watch the little light at the top, and then watch the numbers here, and those numbers will change. There you go, so it's turning down. Okay, or I can just turn the machine off with the off button. Hold it down. The device is shutting down. Do not power off this process. This will last for a few minutes, right? So it took a couple of clicks, but obviously I can't see the LCD display. So it might have done it first time round, I don't know, but it definitely worked. So what will now happen is this machine will now go down through its cool down period, which will last for about 2 or 3 minutes, okay? And then it will tell you either on the app or on the LCD when it is safe to unplug it. It will tell it it's off, okay? Because then it'll be ready to turn back on again. Just bear in mind that if you are sort of on your travels and you want to go camp, or you're out camping and you want to move location, just make sure you turn this thing off well in advance so that exhaust gets nice and cool, because they do get red hot. Once it's turned itself off, you can unplug it and store it away, and then ready for next time. Put your exhaust back on if you've got to transport it. Put your exhaust back on. You won't have to prime it again, and just hit the on button, hold it down, or turn it on via the key fob, or turn it off via the app, and then go through the whole process. Really, really simple, cheap, cost-effective, clean heat. I can't get over how quick these machines do heat up a smaller area and make you feel comfortable. So if you want to get one, discount codes in the comment section and description. You can get a Micks Mowers code for 10% off. These are via USA and UK Amazon links, which will all be in there as well. Make sure you hit links up, and if you feel that I've done a good enough video and they've convinced you to buy one, go and buy one. The ticking noise is not too bad as long as the machine is outside. If it's indoors, it might get your nerves a little bit because it's a little bit of a tick noise. But when it's fully ramped up, you don't hear that ticking noise anyway. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed a little bit of Micks Mowers Man. If you did, hit your subscribe button, whack the old bell, set notifications to all. That way you'll be notified next time I upload another video, and I look forward to you guys next time Micks Mowers very, very soon. But until then, don't forget, much more importantly, take it easy.